We've got some people already joining in. Welcome, everyone. We're just going to wait another about 2 minutes here till 1:02 on my clock, and then we'll kick this off. Just give it another minute, and then we'll kick this off. We forgot the music. We need somebody to sing for us.
You could almost start playing Christmas music.
There's that time. All right, welcome everyone to our launch for TopLeft for Halo. I've been looking forward to this for a long time and excited to launch it. It's been requested by a ton of people. We had over 100 MSPs interested. It seems like many of you are switching from other PSAs like ConnectWise and Autotask. So I'm Wim. Probably everyone recognizes my name, founder and CEO of TopLeft. I started this a while back because we need it in our MSP. So it's built by MSPs for MSPs. And with me is Matt Fox, who is our VP of Product and Engineering, who will take us through the product. We'll start with, we're going to assume nothing here. There's a mixed audience. Some people have used TopLeft in the past with ConnectWise or Autotask, but some people have never used it at all. So we're going to start with the basics and go through with where we're at and how you can get into the beta and the early adopter program. So with all that, yeah, you can post in questions later, all the regular things in the Q&A in the chat, and we'll get to it later. So with all that said, over to Matt. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, yeah, thanks. Welcome, everybody. Really happy to have you here. We're pretty excited to be launching our Halo integration. It's the first time in quite some time that we are launching a new support for a new PSA. And it's not just the old TopLeft integrated with a new PSA. We are rebuilding significant parts of the app, and you are going to be the first people to see it. So consider, yeah, hope you feel privileged, because actually this is stuff that I don't think we've shown in public yet at all. So we're really excited about it. And let me first, so I'll explain a bit about what we've done so far, where we're going, like how this is going to work. Wim will explain a lot more about how do you actually get this in your hands. First, though, like Wim said, yeah, we don't want to assume anything. Some of you may be here and you're like, I don't really know what Agile or Kanban or like, what is that called again? You might not have ever done anything. So I want to just explain a little bit about why do we even do this? And as Wim said, like, why did we build it for ourselves? We could have built anything. Why did we build this? So let me explain a little bit. So this is Halo. You'll recognize it. It's decent for data. Like this is data. This is, the list of tickets for a user, or I guess unassigned maybe. And you know what? It's not too bad in terms of like the data that I really must have to do my job is here. But there's a problem in that it's a bit overwhelming. It's just a big report. The kind of the model here among not just it's not just a Halo problem. You know, ConnectWise and Autotask have the same thing. They just push data in your face, and they say, you're the human. You can interpret this as you wish. But that doesn't really work. Like as an MSP, you have objectives that you want to achieve. You know, you want to be efficient. You want the right people working on the right things at the right times. You want to be you want to know when there's a problem with some of your tickets, whether it's service or project or whatever. You know, when things have gotten neglected or they're way over budget or whatever. Uh, your dispatchers need to send work to the right people. Technicians need to be able to see like, what should I work on next, or have I started a bunch of things and I need to maybe start finishing some things. And this doesn't really help you with that. It's just like I said, it just tosses data in your face and expects you to make the sense of it, when that's really not necessary. Like, this is a computer. We can do whatever we want. Like, maybe we can make a way that it can help you understand those sorts of things, so you can work towards those objectives that you have in your MSP. I think we can do better than just a report like this. Same thing if your dispatcher needs to assign somebody to a ticket, maybe it needs some coordination with a third party, so we're going to put it in the calendar. We can do a bit better than just this screen that says, hey, just pick a person and a date. Like, maybe there's some things that extra information that would be useful when the dispatcher does that we can show. Same thing here. This is, you're probably recognize a project screen. Same thing, just a report. Halo does have Kanban boards. They're very, very rudimentary, though. It's very limited, and I have a bit more to say about that. I mean, maybe you've tried that. It's better, hey, this is a bit better than just a tabular report, but still, it's probably not. You could do a lot better if it was more flexible. So let me introduce TopLeft Kanban. If some of you might have been TopLeft users in the past, and then you'll recognize this. This is the Kanban board. And it's got columns going left to right. The idea here is that each card represents a ticket, or it could be a project or whatever, some element of work. And as it moves through the work stages in the workflows of your organization, then it moves from the right side to the left side of the board. Left side to the right side of the board. The stuff over here is the stuff that's closer to being completed. You could, in this example, there's no completed column, but some people do have a column just for their completed stuff. And so this could be for a help desk. You'd see a ticket start out here, a new, and when it has some dispatch work done to it, it goes into queued, might go into scheduled, might go into waiting, but definitely it'll go into in progress, where it's very easy for everybody on the team to see what's in progress right now. So everybody's got the same view of the data. There are additional things that you can do on a Kanban board, which TopLeft does. We have some groups here. So in Agile or Kanban terms, those have a name. They're called swim lanes. So we group the data here into these swim lanes. This is an example of grouping it by who the ticket is assigned to. So we have a section here for tickets that are assigned to nobody. That's usually pretty important to know. That would be the stuff that needs to be dispatched. Sometimes that's a big problem. Like if it's here, we've got some examples here that are in progress, but they're not assigned to anybody. So that's usually a big problem. You want to be able to see that really easily. After that, we have swim lanes for each user. So here you see the top of the swim lane here for Terry. That's all Terry's work. And there would be a lane for each member on your team. So this is a great example of improving the way that you can visualize the work. And it just immediately makes it more understandable towards the user when their attention is brought to some of the problems. Like even particular things, like you can see these red labels on the cards, that indicates a problem. It could be over budget, could be that it's sitting in that column too long. So it's very good for bringing your attention to the problems so that you can focus your attention on other things, like actually doing the work more effectively and not having to worry about finding the problems, because you just know it's going to show me the problems. So that's a little bit of a overview of just a very brief overview of why are Kanban boards useful. Certainly we could go into a lot more detail, but that's not for today. We have, if you've ever used TopLeft before, you may not be aware that now we have Gantt charts. So this is something we added some time ago. This just new visualization. It's really good for planning and being able to see, okay, what projects do I think are going on at a certain time in the future. You can see who's assigned to them and be able to plan out your work a little bit, in a more effective ways. Here's an example of the TopLeft dialogue here for just making general edits to the tickets, because it's not just a visualization solution. It is all about helping you work faster through the day. So whether you're a dispatcher or you're an engineer or you're a manager, we let you make the changes to the data here. This one is showing how you might enter time and show the notes that have already been shown on that, already put in on that ticket there. So that is a little bit about TopLeft and the history of Kanban, what we have now and kind of the existing apps. So now let me explain a bit about why, kind of where we're at with our development of the Halo integration and the new user interface that we're building. So I have made a little Kanban board here. Even PowerPoint can do Kanban if you make it. So some of the things that are done. We have our TopLeft integration pulling data from the Halo API into a copy of the data in our own database, so we can show you it very quickly. So that's all the key things are done. There's definitely going to be more work to do in that regard, but most important stuff is done. We've made good progress on rebuilding certain of the UI elements that we are planning to do. We are working on adding the Kanban board for Halo tickets. I'll show you a screenshot in a moment. So that good progress being made on that. We continue to work on the UI, the new UI. And so let me explain some of the backlog here, the things that are still to do. One is supporting dragging and dropping in columns, so that it's not just a read-only board, but you can actually click on a card, drag it over to a new column. That indicates, that the work is progressing through the stages of the workflow in your organization. That will go out and change that ticket status in Halo. So that's being worked on. We want to support drag and drop within those groups or swim lanes, so that you can change various ticket values. So if you were seeing the in the example there that I was showing you, the member swim lane, you could actually drag it from one member swim lane to a different member swim lane, and that would go and reassign that ticket in Halo. That gives you a very, very easy way to reassign the work. We want to support more groups and swim lanes, so that all of the important properties of a ticket, you can group them. For example, you might want to see all of the highest priority tickets all together all at once. You might want to group the tickets by the company that they're for. And there's a variety of things like that. So we'll continue working on that. One is just some of the backend configuration pages for the views and the workflows, so that you can set it up. If you're not familiar with how TopLeft has worked in the past, basically you would define a Kanban board, and it's sort of a filter over your data. So, and you can have, it's very flexible. You can have multiple Kanban boards showing the same data, but kind of in different ways, maybe with different sets of columns. You can have different Kanban boards that actually show, the same data or different data. For example, maybe you have multiple teams, or the simple example is a service team and a project team. So you want to set up a board to just show the work for your service team, and another board to show the work for your project team. So we'll be building out the pages where you define how that actually works. By the way, little mention of what we're going to do, especially for the people who have used TopLeft in the past. Previously, the way that you define those filters to, for example, to say, okay, this is my Kanban board just for the service team, they've been fairly rudimentary. You just define maybe a category of ticket. You say, this board, I want to show these categories of tickets, as an example. We are going to be making it a lot more flexible so that you could do that. You could define a board to say, I just want to show certain categories of tickets or certain priorities or whatever. But it's going to be kind of a proper search, a copy, like query builder, some people call it, so that you can do Boolean logic. So you can say like A or B, show me data for A or B. You can also negate things, meaning show me things that are not a certain value, which is something that we've not done before. This has been a bit limited, but now's a good time to implement that sort of thing. So if you've come from TopLeft in the past, have ever been frustrated by that, then you can be happy. It's going to be a lot more flexible now. We are going to introduce support for projects and project tasks. Also, editing the ticket and entering time. Also, dispatch and stuff like that, and adding Gantt, the work for the Gantt charts. That's just kind of an overview of some of the things that we think are most important. We certainly do have other things that we're going to be building out, and I'll get to those in a little bit. But these are the things that we consider the most important things. Basically, when could we launch it in general? We would love to have some of you using it, from next week. Almost anybody who's happy to just have a new visualization for their tickets, but certainly that will be useful, and it's solves some problems that Halo can't solve on its own. But as we build out these things, when we're done that then we'll consider it generally available, even as we consider keep building other things as well. So let's get to the screenshots. This is the new TopLeft. You are the first members of the public ever to see this sort of thing, and this is kind of what's in progress here. It's a totally different interface than what you may have seen with TopLeft before. And this is an example of a swim lane board, a board grouping the work by who is assigned by the company. So we have here a group for the tickets that are for St. John's High School, followed by Terry's Chocolates and whatnot. This is just some of the demo data that comes with comes with Halo. And we got the tickets, columns and tickets in the columns here. This is all built out in new ways. I don't want to explain all the details about how we are building this new stuff in the background, but it is way better than our previous methods, and it's going to allow us to iterate on this much more quickly with fewer bugs and faster velocity. So we're making lots of changes, not just adding Halo to the mix. So on this board, you can see got the title of the ticket number. This is the priority, medium or low, for example. This indicator would be for who's assigned to that ticket. And then we've got some more labels on the tickets, like who is the contact for that ticket there at St. John's High School, and also warning labels about this. So some of these are created some time ago, 3 years, 7 months ago, is highlighting it in red because that's a very long time to still have a ticket around. There could be other things like if it was over budget. Oh yeah, so here's an example. There's a 32-hour estimate on this project ticket. And it would also look at the hours that have been logged on that ticket. And when they go above 32, then it would show that label in red as well, just to help you identify the problem work. Oh yes, we have dark mode. Dark mode is our #1 requested feature, and it's coming too. So if you're one of the people who have been asking us for that, finally, your request is granted. We're looking forward to that. I am a dark mode fan myself, so I'm looking forward to that. Also,
to jump in there, so
yeah.
I was never a dark mode person. I'm like, oh, whatever. Like people screenshot, I can't read it. Please flick it back to light mode. But last week, I think I may have been convinced to the dark side. So it was like on the plane, traveling to conferences, dark rooms, and you can dim your screen, but then you can't read it. So I was actually using dark mode. I'm like, it's actually maybe growing on me. So I'm back in my office and using dark mode. And pigs are also flying, I heard. So now I get #1 request feature.
When you like it, you like it. Okay, now here's a picture. This is something new. Actually, we haven't, this new dashboard, this is brand new in TopLeft. We actually haven't even launched this publicly, even for our ConnectWise and Autotask users. So we know that up until about now, we have never had it's just been exclusively Kanban boards and Gantt charts. That's pretty much it. but we know that there are other ways to help you focus in on the work that you're doing, especially looking at the problem work, depending whatever role that you're in, the manager, dispatcher, engineer. There's more help that we could do. So, and also it's helpful, especially to be able to see what's your history, like what is, are you working more effectively than you were last week or a couple of weeks ago? And so we're starting to show historical trends of what's happening with the number of tickets on certain boards and whatnot. Give you a summary here. Like this chart will show you how many tickets do we have now compared to what we had last week or last previous weeks. We can see, summaries of how many tickets are actually on this board. We can see summaries of how long have tickets been in the columns on average. This one will show you what are the different, if it's a board that groups the work somehow, it'll show you what are the top groups. This one's a member, like a resource swim lane board, so it shows you the top users who have tickets there, which in this case, I guess is just one, but in most cases you have multiple ones. Something called the cumulative flow diagram, which we're still working on. It's kind of a very beta screenshot here, but cumulative flow diagram is really good for determining basically, are you working faster than the tickets are coming in? Are tickets leaving your workflow faster than they are entering your workflow? And if not, when does that change? How does that change, and whatnot? So this will be available for all Halo users right from the very beginning. We're definitely looking forward to launching that. Okay. Just looking a bit forward past what I had said that we are working on, what are the things that we are going to be adding past when we consider it launched? So I think the first couple here are part of what we need to build out before we consider it ready to generally launch. Okay, so drag and drop, other groups, ticket editing, Gantt charts. With regards to the ticket editing, that would be being able to make general changes on a ticket, change the title, change the due date, change the priority, and so on. Also being able to do time entry, time and notes, assign people, dispatching, also support file attachments. After that, we're going to be working on things like WIP limits. That means work in progress. That's an idea in the agile world that you shouldn't be working on too many things at once. Ideally, you only work on one thing at a time. Finish it before you move on to the next thing. That's one of the most efficient ways to work. And so we can help you limit that work. Basically identify when are you not following that best practice. We also want to support the ticket SLAs, timers. That's a way that we can help engineers log their time on those tickets by supporting timers. We have the dashboard and the column metrics. A lot of that's already been started. As you can see, project boards. That would be where the cards that you see on the Kanban board are not just service tickets or the individual project tasks, but they are they're actually the top level projects, and that's really useful for project managers. We also want to support custom fields. Client portal, that is where you can invite your customers to see the Kanban boards, and so they can just self-serve, see what's going on with their projects and their tickets and whatnot. They won't ask you for updates on things anymore when they can get it themselves. And also what we call the card style customization. That's where you can define rules that, whatever you want, whatever works for your teams, you define rules that match certain tickets, and then applies different styling to those cards. And that's really helpful for bringing your attention to cards with certain characteristics, like it's a certain category of ticket in a certain column, for example. Unread tickets that have not been looked at and they're in the waiting column. Maybe customers responded and it's still in the waiting column, as an example. So you can highlight those sorts of things. So that brings me, that's what you can look forward to here. One thing I wanted to do is I did have more I wanted to say, but I think that I put it in my notes that I couldn't see. So Put those. Wim, you can. I'll find those, and Wim, maybe you want to. Maybe I can jump in.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll do just
That.
a couple questions that were posted, so I think now would be a good time to get them.
Oh, okay.
We'll start with Karen's question. Do tickets on the dashboard differentiate if they are project tickets or help desk tickets?
Yeah, that's a great question. At the moment, it doesn't, but definitely that's something that will be done.
Yeah.
As we develop it.
Yeah, obviously we have that in ConnectWise and Autotask, and that's a key use case is mixed work, of course, on the same board. Even companies that have separate project and service teams, invariably they're crossing over. So
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Karen. And then James asks, if you're moving from ConnectWise to Halo, will your boards come over? Will they be migratable?
Good question. They will not. And the reason is that there's just too many differences between ConnectWise and Halo for us to even begin to try to make them come across. Like the filter options are going to be totally different. So you're in that is a big migration. And honestly, migrating the top left part of it is going to be like 1 hour of your time out of a very, very big project. So what you should do in that case is, this is probably what I would do, is just take a screenshot of the boards that you do have. And that'll remind you what boards you want to make in the Halo version after you migrate. And honestly, it might be totally different because of some of the new features that we're introducing that could actually change the boards that you want to make once you're in the new Halo version. We are making big improvements to the the way that we manage teams. So that previously there could be some cases where you would actually, this is quite a common case, is where we would recommend that you make 2 different boards for a single team. So that would be a board with member swim lanes. So you'd be grouping the tickets into who's assigned to that ticket. And that's what we would recommend that a dispatcher looks at. And then you'd make a second board that would be pretty much an exact copy of the first board, except it's not grouping the members. And then that's what we would recommend the technicians use. So that was our recommendation. You have these 2 separate boards, and they're identical except for one field. But we've made things a lot more flexible so that you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to make 2 boards. When it kind of detects when it's a technician looking at your board, and it just kind of shifts into the other mode that's better for technician automatically. And actually, some of that stuff's already available in the ConnectWise and Autotask versions. So for a variety of reasons, you may not want to make the same boards in the Halo version once you migrate.
Yeah, I think most companies switching to Halo, they're going to be reassessing all their boards, and their statuses and everything will be different. Okay, thank you for that. And then Joseph has a question on ETA when drag drop feature will be ready. I think that would be at the top of the list, right?
Yeah, next week.
Yeah. Yeah, big one. And then he also asks, will there be onboarding service available? So you'll get a call as well as we have customer success. But yeah, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, for some of our first users, those who are willing to kind of be a little bit of guinea pigs, for those who you're like, I know what Kanban boards are and I can see the value in that, and I want to get connected, even if it doesn't support all the features yet. If that's you, then probably I would like to help you through that, because that's going to be a really good 2-way conversation. I'm going to be able to help you, but I want to get the feedback as we go through that. So expect a call from me if you are one of the ones who wants to start right away.
Yeah. Okay, we'll put you on speed dial, Joseph. Okay, and yeah, and it's if you haven't been on TopLeft for a while, we've overhauled our onboarding. It used to be, here's a login, have fun, good luck. But now everyone gets a onboarding call. So certainly anybody getting into Halo will get onboarding calls as well to customer success as time goes along. So we have lots of training content around to complete a ticket challenge, videos, lots of onboarding resources that we never had before. Okay. Did you
Hey,
find?
so yeah, I did find that. So the last thing I just wanted to say was I could see that maybe some of you might be thinking, is this really that much better than the Kanban view that I can get in Halo? And so if you're kind of wondering that, then let me just go through some of the things that you will be able to do in TopLeft. Some of this is things that don't exist today, but will be built out. What can we do in the TopLeft version that you can't do in Halo? So one of the things is that if you want to be able to have columns that you always see the column, even when there's no tickets in that column, then you'll be able to do that in TopLeft. Something you can't do in Halo. If there's no tickets in it, it doesn't show up at all. So it's actually kind of hard to see the full workflow of for your team, because those ticket columns just disappear if there's no tickets in them. If you want to be able to have a column that has multiple statuses in it, then you can do that in TopLeft and not in Halo. The classic case for that is that you probably have more than one waiting status. You might have like waiting on the customer or waiting on some other third party. And on a Kanban board, usually you just want to see those together in the same column. So you can do that with TopLeft. You can make the columns in any order that you want. You can use the grouping or the swim lanes. To the best of my knowledge, Halo doesn't do that in their Kanban board. You can, and then you can use that to drag between those swim lanes, as I mentioned, so that you can reassign or change the ticket priority or whatever. You can, set up the WIP limits, work in progress limits. You can drag the ticket into a certain position in a column. That's a really key part of proper Kanban workflows, is that the tickets that are at the top of the column are the most important. So that's what you start on first. So the ordering within a column is actually significant. What's at the bottom is less important. You'll get to it as you kind of finish up the things that are above it. Can't do that in Halo, but that's been supported for eons in TopLeft because it's an important part of Agile. You'll be able to highlight the stalled work, things that have been sitting in the same column for too long, for example. You'll be able to add up the hours that are in a certain column. For example, add the hours that are on all the tickets in a certain column or in a certain group. So you could the budget hours add up to 50 hours, for example. So that's pretty useful. You'll be able to show tasks from multiple projects, which is pretty key. When you're a project manager, you're never just managing a single project. You always got lots of things going on. Also get kind of summaries of what are the problem tickets that are in either a single column or in a whole group or on the board as a whole. We even chart those in the dashboard to say, hey, last week at this time you had 10 tickets that had some sort of problem. They had the red label on them indicating maybe they're over budget or whatever it might be. And today you've got 5, so you've made a big improvement since last week. So those are all things that are going to be available in TopLeft that you're not going to get in with just the Halo Kanban boards.
To answer that last question from Joseph, and then I'll get into the early adopter program stuff. So a question on literally drag and drop the order where we want moment by moment in a column. Yep, that's always been there in TopLeft. So just like sticky notes on a whiteboard, you can move them wherever you want. And between the columns, and it updates Halo. So
yeah. And it shares the view. So if a dispatcher does that, it reflects on the technician's view. Not maybe instantly, but within seconds, it'll show up on it'll be reordered on the technician's view. So one use case for that is exactly that. A dispatcher, maybe they've already put a ticket into a certain column, like a queue of work, and then they get a phone call from the customer saying, hey, this is actually pretty urgent, and so they need to reorder it. They put it at the top of the column, and that reflects immediately on the technician's board. So when the technician goes to find the next new ticket to work on, they're going to see that new ticket at the top.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'll stop my share.
Yep. Okay, yeah, just testimonials from clients we've had for years. Steve Saradelis, always share his story. He improved project efficiency 57%. Tennille also did a webinar with us. She eliminated the dispatcher role and then doubled tech utilization. So that's like, that could be a $200,000 difference in the bottom line. Chase improved the SLA from 60 to 90%. That's huge, and doubled utilization. And Scott Taylor eliminated a nasty, massive, insane ticket backlog and eliminated two dispatchers. So this stuff works. So getting into how to get into the beta. Very simple. Email beta sign up to help@topleft.team and we'll get you set up. That'll be like next week. We're doing a max of 10 on the free for that, because it takes time to manage each one. And then we'll send the instructions for the API setup. We'll get your application set up, getting the data synchronized. You can sign in, create your boards, get started. We'll get that call with Matt to set your answer any questions, make sure you're set up there, just getting that relationship, get your feedback. Again, we want good communication on what's working, the bugs, what you want to see next, to get that dialogue going. And obviously, you're going to improve efficiency, reduce stress, overwhelm. Team's going to love it. Customers are happier. This is a competitive advantage as well with quicker resolution. Definitely pays off on the customer side. Get more work from them. So yeah, just email beta over to help@topleft. So the regular pricing will be the same as what we have on ConnectWise, which is $30 a user. An oddball number because it's normally we price monthly. So this is the annual price. Setup fee $649, and we have add-ons for viewers and managers, monthly pricing options, and discounts for 2 and 3 years. So that's our regular pricing, about $30 a user. But the early bird pricing will be as follows. So you can get into the free beta. There's no commitment on that. So if you email in today or until those 10 slots are full, and you'll get in at no charge, no commitment. But if you do commit and you get a payment in by December 31st, you can get these promos. So on a monthly, if you go month to month, it's only 5%. If you commit a 1 year, you get a 15% discount, and it goes down from there. So you get 15% off the $30. 2 years prepaid would be 25% discount off to $27. And so normally 3 years is like the $24 or $25. You can get 30% off of that. So you're down to like $18 on a 3 year. So your billing terms, when you can submit your payment this week, next week, until the end of the year. But the billing term will be when those core features are available. The drag and drop, the ticket time, node entry, those common swim lanes, the combined ticket and task boards, the Gantt charts. That's, I don't know what percentage of the functionality, but it's probably 70 or 80%. So once that's launched, then that's what so if you pay now, we actually won't start your term until that point. And we're hoping for end of January to have all that ready to go, but it's obviously hard to commit on dates or even give dates at all, because it's the time it takes to build it. So the beta is free until then. Again, max 10 seats. But if you pay, you're going to get a spot regardless of how many people are in the beta program. So $649 setup fee, but we'll waive that through the end of the month as an incentive to get in quick, or minimum $100 a month. So you'd be about 3 or 4 users at that price point. And any upgrades that you do in the future will be for the remainder of the term. So if you get 5 licenses now or 10 now, and you want to add more later during that prepaid term, it'll just be you'd pay until the end of the term at that same early adopter price. And then after that period, you go back to the regular rates. So that's how that works. Let me see. I lost my previous slide. So benefits of this is you get early access, as I mentioned, competitive advantage to get in quick. We will give you a copy of the books we recommend, which are, we've got the Phoenix Project for Making Work Visible. So happy to send you one of those. They're both highly recommended. Got them on my wall, love them so much. I've given out many copies of those. So we have a t-shirt. I don't have it here to show you. But Kanban is my superpower t-shirt, which we designed. So we can get you one of those as well. Just need to know your size. Obviously, you can influence the roadmap, participate in the referral program. I got a slide on that. We've upgraded that recently. Unlimited email chat support. We're getting a Slack channel going for Halo users, so you can join that. And obviously, we're looking for feedback and do the training and adopt the methods. The referral program, if you refer anyone, and obviously they sign up, is you get $250 USD gift card, and they get a discount on the setup fee. And those, yeah, over to questions. I see a couple there. Let me go back to this one. Oh, yeah, TopLeft, help at topleft.team. Did I get that wrong? No, I had it right in my slide. Okay, that was just one. So if you want to get into the early adopter, then just email sales at, and we'll get you set up. I'll put that in the chat. Setup fee for existing users, we'll waive that for existing users. If you've already got a paid subscription, we'll waive that. And it's waived for anyone who commits by the end of the month. I hope that's clear. Any other questions? Joseph is in. All right, thank you, Joseph. I know you've been eagerly waiting for this every month, so yeah, if you're in communities with other Halo users, would appreciate the plug and the referral, just to let people know about the program and to reach out and book a demo and take a look.
You guys are going to be happy that you came to this webinar, not the one next week. We might have all those slots filled up by then.
Yep. It's first come, first serve basis for those 10 beta slots. Okay. If anyone wants to see a live demo, then just put that in the chat, and in the chat, and I will live demo, and I'm happy to share what we have with ConnectWise. Most people here, I think, have seen it already. So we've got no other content here. Oh, Rob doesn't mind to see a demo.
James is wondering about the beta program. James, we still have a little bit to do. Like, I do want to get the drag and drop working, and we need to write the knowledge base page about how do you actually set up the the API member. So we just got to do a couple of those things. So I think sometime next week, I would like to actually get you on board if you want to start that early.
All right, yeah, so some people are completely new to TopLeft and Kanban, so I'll go through maybe about 5 minutes on this and do the common screens that we have. So this is a project overview board looking at all of your projects. So not the tickets or tasks, but the project as a whole. So here we've got 9 projects, so 1 card per project. And as you got the columns, again, these are all configurable, and you can map whatever statuses you want out of Halo into here, or your ConnectWise, your PSA. So you got new, quoted, credit approved, ready to start, etc. You can drag and drop between columns. Updates your PSA, you can re-rank in the column, as we were talking about before, just like moving that sticky note on your whiteboard. There it is. Highlights on it if it's over budget and those sorts of things. Then you can have other boards. If we look at let's say project manager by project. This is showing the tickets on different projects with a swim lane by project. So we've got, well, 3 projects here. I can see that some are, this Azure migration is beyond the end date. And here I see the tickets. Again, you can move those around. This one does, it's giving me a message because I misconfigured the board. There's no status map there. I can see all of my in-progress tickets, warnings if it's overdue, no time entry, etc. So this really drives the behavior around time entry, keeping your tickets up to date. And obviously, if you're going into Trello or Planner or a Monday, your tickets will never be up to date. One or the other will be wrong. So the one database for everyone, one system. So that's, and then you can click on, I'll show you some more boards. You can do a help desk, let's say just a simple help desk board without any swim lanes. This has actually too much information on it. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to change it. It's got too much information, so I'm just, here's where you configure and what to show on the card. So we can really simplify that. And no swim lanes. Save. So very easy. Configure that, no programming required or anything. So this is showing the work in a team, and the service and project tickets. The ones with a colored background are project tickets, and there's different colors because of different project boards in ConnectWise. If I click my tickets as Peter, I'm only going to see Peter's tickets. So very simple, uncluttered. Would not recommend a swim lane view for technicians normally to work from, perhaps by priority, but this would be the recommended ways. Very simple. He's got his 5 in progress, which is too many. He should have like 1. But he can drag and drop, grab it. And then, yes, if you click the subject of a ticket, sorry, if you click the, where do you click, Matt, to bring it up in the PSA?
Underneath the dot menu
Okay.
is an option, or if you bring up the dialog, there's a button in there, and there's actually a couple of options that you have disabled there. Like there's other ways to do it too if you turn on certain options. There could be a button right on the card to do it in one click.
Yeah. So on the top is a view in ConnectWise or view in Halo, your PSA. But you can do a lot of the work on the ticket right out of top left. So all the fields are here. Time and notes, you can do a time entry. So I can put in 2 hours here. I could say fixed the things, add it to the discussion, email the customer if I wanted, submit it. So basically in one action, doing the work, the time entry, the notes, closed loop communication, update the timesheet, done. Without having to wait for Halo or ConnectWise to load. You can dispatch and schedule right out of here as well. As you can see the person's schedule. Yeah, you can schedule it into somebody's calendar. I don't know what it's called in Halo. In ConnectWise, it's dispatching. Autotask is making a service call, they call it. Yeah, so that's the basics there. And then if we go back to the project overview, you've got the Gantt charts. Across, you can look at your project as a whole, or if you're on these other views, you'd have other types of Gantt charts as well. So if I bring up this one, I'm seeing a breakdown by person. So across my whole project portfolio, which resource has which ticket. So you can do it by project. So here's all the tickets within a project, and then by resource. So different views on that data. And the one that people love for huddles is this one here, showing it the tickets by resource. Sorry, I've changed this on my demo. I'm moving this back. So see, there's a lot of swim lane options here. So what Halo has out of the gate may be fewer, but we would add all these swim lane options as well in due time. So a swim lane by resource. So each person gets a swim lane. So if you're doing a daily huddle, you can go through and see whose work is blocked, is not moving forward, what needs to follow up, where are they missing on status updates, time entries, different things. So great for team members, great for coordinators, dispatch. Is there anything else anybody would like to see in a demo? I went super fast there. That's the basics. We can actually show this is the overall, or the dashboard. So you can see per board how many warnings there are and what's our tickets volume. Obviously, we want to be getting that down, getting the work in progress down. And this is great to see how by board, how are these things flowing. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm missing a couple. Okay, Karen will be back. Agile project boards, yep. So Agile service, we have clients using this for one or the other or both. Okay. Okay, so that's it for questions. So I hope that was useful. Again, email help for the beta and email sales for the early adopter program. And we will send this recording through as well. And we do have this slot next week as well. If you want to get anybody else in there, refer them in. We're happy to go through it again with them next week. All right. Well, thank you everyone for your engagement and the questions, and we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Great work on this. I'm excited with the new platform and all the things we've been wanting to do for many years. So
For sure.
You're welcome, everyone. All right. See you later.